Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.
We're so thrilled to have back on the show incredible singer, songwriter, and a ferocious guitarist, Samantha Fish. Samantha, thanks for coming back on.
Thank you for having me.
You know, it was a lot more fun last time we were hanging out in City Winery right before you played that show. But I had to get you on talking about the Stardust Sessions that you did with Jesse Dayton. It's like, I love these tracks you guys did.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like our version of a raw, bootleg almost. I mean, it was kind of unexpected, that whole, session where we went in and recorded those songs. We came together for a writing session to prepare for a record that we were doing later in the year. And my manager hit us like a day before and said, "Hey, you guys are going into the studio tomorrow. So pick some songs that you think best sum up, covers like of what you guys are doing." And so we chose those 3 songs. It was Magic Sam's Feeling Good, The Clash, Brand New Cadillac, and then Townes Van Zandt, I'll Be Here in the Morning. And so we kind of went in, it was very loose, very in the moment. And, it's funny because I didn't know what we were going to do with it, but it turns out that the label really liked it. And we ended up moving forward. So.
Well, and you've got the video for Brand New Cadillac, and I really like the interplay with your voices and with your guitar playing, because they're so distinctly different. So it's not like you're competing, it's just totally different guitar styles. And I think with his voice and your voice, it works really well together.
I think so too. And, that was really our first chance to see how that was going to play out. Like, how are we going to, so that video that you see was really that day was our first interaction in that kind of musical way. Like, how are we going to work together, and it just kind of happened really naturally.
Well, and I like the choice of the 3 songs also. And you mentioned the original, writers and performers, but also with the acoustic track, you don't typically hear you playing a lot of acoustic or your voice over the top of acoustic. And I thought it really blended nicely.
Thank you. I wanted to do something that was like, we had these 2 really, kind of aggressive numbers. So I wanted something to sort of show some like diversity and like, we can come in subdued and gentle and do something delicate. And it was really nice to hear him sing so softly and sweetly, and try to find these harmonies over each other. And I mean, it was kind of a nice counterpoint to those other 2 songs.
Definitely, with I'll Be Here in the Morning. I was going to bring up too, Samantha, are there going to be more videos coming out besides the Brand New Cadillac? Because I love the whole studio feel, showing you guys both in the studio and the interplay.
I'm not sure about from that session, but we have a new record coming out in the late spring, early summertime of next year.
Right.
And I'm really excited about it because we'll have some videos leading up to that and some singles coming out. John Spencer produced this record and it's called Death Wish Blues. So you'll see more of us in that kind of a sense.
So what are you guys going to do with this as well? Because you both have your independent careers. And as we know, it's like you are just amazing on stage. You're so well known for your live shows and just going all out, with your singing and your playing and everything. Are you guys going to try and do some shows together as well this next year?
I think we're really going to focus, heavily into spring and summer of next year, but, still balancing with our own bands, because this was definitely a very, we decided we wanted to do something different from what we had been doing. So this is definitely like a different path, but we still are going to maintain, our solo stuff as well. But it's going to be really fun. And the dynamic is really interesting with Jesse, because I've never played in a band. I did them early on in my career, but
right.
With another guitarist, and we're both lead players, so it's going to be really fun to try out different dynamics with the guitar playing.
Well, and I also noticed, Samantha, working with Jesse, it's like it seems like you're getting to play with the dynamics of your voice more also, because as you mentioned, being a lead guitar player and also the lead singer in your band, but the harmonies and everything, it seems like you're kind of pushing yourself a little more vocally.
Yeah, totally. It's so funny because I've been the lead singer in my band, and backing vocals are something that are so important to me, and I'm like pushing my band to do them. And as I've always known they were hard, but now I'm like in that position of a supporting role, and I'm like, oh my God, finding those points can sometimes be tricky and difficult when you're not used to it. So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely pushing myself creatively and, in my experiences,
I think that's amazing. Well, and your last album that you came out with back in 2021, Faster, was so popular. And I know you toured like crazy this past year. And so, it seems like you're always working on new material. It's like the time you and I were discussing when you had 2 albums released in 1 year. And it seems, I don't know how you keep it up with your touring schedule and in the studio.
Well, you just have to want it first and foremost. I think the desire to do it is the most important thing. But yeah, Faster, once the pandemic restrictions had kind of lifted and that album had come out, we really, it's just been nonstop since then, really.
And it will be for the coming year as well.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to slow down anytime soon. So.
Well, and thank goodness, we were talking before we started the interview, Samantha, about your music gear. And, obviously in the video with Brand New Cadillac, you're using your favorite white SG, Gibson SG as well. And you said you're really not changing up the ingredients going forward. You still got your standard favorites with your guitars, your amps, and your pedals and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a creature of habit, but I don't know, playing with Jesse and he's got this big, hollow body guitar. It's kind of making the wheels turn. I'm like, ooh, maybe I need one of those too, This project is good that we have such separate voices on the instruments, but like that I'm starting to think, well, for my band, maybe I need a big hollow body that screams like that.
Well,
I know.
We were talking, the last time I bumped into you, I think you were leaving Carter Vintage Guitars, but you didn't have a guitar in your hand at the time.
That's good. That means I kept my in my pocket.
But that may not happen on your next visit because you are playing here in Nashville the end of January, also at the Ryman.
I usually end up leaving with something, so maybe guitar. But yeah, I love going to the guitar shops in Nashville. You guys have some of the most amazing selection of vintage gear.
Tell you what, it's I love the EP with the Stardust Sessions, and I can't wait to hear the new album, the full album coming out later this spring, Death Wish Blues, that you're doing with Jesse as well. I want to make sure for our viewers, Samantha, with everything you've got going on with your tours, with the EP, with the new album, where should they go for everything Samantha Fish?
Well, SamanthaFish.com is definitely, there's going to be a lot of information up on that. But, you could just go to your Google browser and type in my name, type in Jesse Dayton's name, Death Wish Blues. We're all over the internet. We're all over social media platforms. We're on everything that we could possibly be on. So if you have a phone, you can find us.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know our viewers definitely need to download and add these 3 new songs from your EP on, because I love all 3 of them. And I think it really shows another dimension of your artistry, with your voice and with the voice of your guitar, working with another artist. It's just, there's no competition. It's just a nice, back and forth vocally and everything. So I can't wait to hear more of this on a full album.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Can't wait to come to the Ryman too. It's going to be great.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll be there to see you in concert. Samantha Fish, thank you for joining the show.
Sponsored by the Big 98, Nashville's #1 for new country and the home of the Bobby Bones Show.